Called Mrs. Johnson.
It's easier to teach kids on a farm where you have livestock. It's easy to teach them love and sex and death. It doesn't come so hard later in life. You want to know what sex is? You see those chickens over there? That's it. You want to know, about your dog dying? You've just gone through it. You want to know what this cow's going to beef. We're higher on the food chain than they are, and so these things are fairly easy to teach on a farm because you deal with them every day.
Well, the south side of Chicago is the baddest part of town. If you go down there, you better just beware of a cat named Leroy Brown.
This old barn's over 100 years old. I had to rebuild both wings. This is the hay that in each of the runways that we took up this year, part of it. I will sell it. Those round bales weigh 600-700 pounds a piece.
Wow.
The fencing, when I got rid of the cows back in September of last year, almost a year ago. This was all pasture land here. Fence, I've taken down the fence so that I won't be tempted to get in anymore. And that's not going to happen. That's just not.
Oh, so why did you sell the cows?
You age out of everything as you get older. What was important isn't important. I had a list of stuff I was going to do in my life, and the list is getting shorter and shorter. And it's not necessarily true that I'm getting it done. Hell, I'm just marking through it, and it ain't important anymore. But anyway, we'd go in the barn, but you can see you can't get in the barn for the hay that's in there. And that I will sell to people who don't raise hay. But that's pretty quality hay. What makes good quality hay? You need to understand cows. You need to understand outside bovine. They are, in the summertime, they eat grass. In the wintertime, they have to eat something. They have to eat something to keep, to make them warm. What happens is they eat that protein, and the amoeba inside them makes it warm, makes it hot. And that's how any animal in the wintertime, they eat and the stuff rots inside of them, and it makes them warm. And as long as they can get to feed, basically they're okay. It can get so cold, there's other complications. But you cut the hay. Well, you ask, why did I sell the cows? I got out of it because there never was a hay season when something didn't go wrong. Something always goes wrong. One of the machines breaks. If that one doesn't break, another one will. A chain will break. Something will foul one of the machines. It all has to work perfectly, and people don't understand. If it doesn't all work perfectly, you got the hay laying on the ground, and the hay is trying to dry out so you can bale it. You can't bale this wet. It will rot. What you're looking for is to rot inside the cow. It only rots one time. If it's laying out here and it gets wet and it rots, it's no good. So these things, farmers are relatively smart. I'm not, but farmers are relatively smart in doing what they do. It's always easier when somebody else does it. I guess brain surgery is easy to a brain surgeon, but to the rest of us, it's a little complicated. Farmers don't get near the credit that they ought to. Not me in particular, because I'm out of it, but I know what it takes, and I have a great respect for the guys who have farmed. You have to love it. You never make any money at it. It is always going in a hole. You have to absolutely love animals and love the outdoors. Money ain't got nothing to do with it. First time I played some of these songs in a long time. This song I wanted to write as a love song because we all know people that before we knew them, things weren't all that right, and they really got right whenever we met these people. Michael Gantz heard this and wanted it done at his wedding, and I did it at his wedding. But it's a good tune. Before there was you, the skies weren't so bright. Before there was you, not so much went right. Now that you're here, please stay near. I want you to know my life's better with you in it. Before there was you, my smiles were too few, my thoughts were too great, my world was too blue. You're all that I miss. I knew when we kissed, without a doubt, my life's better with you in it. Now I smile to think of the coming days. My world's so much better in so many ways. Before I met you, days were too long. There were too many clouds. Too much went wrong. Now when I lay down at night, everything seems right. I want you to know my life's better with you in it. I want you to know my life's better with you in it. All right, girls, I know you're going to get out early today. Don't pay any attention to that woman there. She knows she can come over here and stand on my feet, and I'll take care of those that are going to peck her. She's pretty helpless when it comes to it, but I don't know, I think she still lays. And of course, every once in a while you get a hawk come in here and kill chickens. And of course I'll shoot the hawk. We have raccoons, we have skunk that also like to get in on chickens, particularly raccoon. And I have trapped a bunch of them and shot them. They're my chickens. I ain't raising these chickens for the raccoons. They can go somewhere else and eat. I don't relish killing, but if I have a snake that's eating eggs, I can't teach him not to eat eggs. So, their history. That was 12 years ago, 11 years ago. We gave the land to the kids, to them to pay the taxes on it. It gives young people, it gives anybody a place to go and to get away. And these things are important. It's important that they be able to get out and away. And I can understand why there are so many divorces. People have to live so close together. I don't know that I could ever do that. I don't know that I'd be a very good neighbor. This was all garden. And I'd like to tell you, about 3 weeks ago, we did it all in.
And what did you have here?
Oh, tomatoes, peppers, squash, cantaloupes, beans, butter beans, green beans,
Any okra?
peas, okra. Oh yeah, you would never guess what this is. I like turnip greens. I hate turnips, but I love turnip greens, and that's what these are. Oh, here's a turnip. Damn. They're in here so thick. They're in here so thick. You usually don't make turnips, but I hate turnips. But I love the greens, and we eat greens until frost. This will bear turnips until frost. It loses in, and when the frost comes, all the leaves will fall off the fig bushes and then be officially winter.
And how do you prepare your turnip greens?
Put them in about 1.5 cups of chicken broth and boil them and let them cool. Put a little salt in them. God, they are great. The other greens, collard greens, spinach, that stuff is so bitter to me. I don't need a lot of pepper. I don't need a lot of anything. My taste buds are very alive the way it is. One of life's lessons that I learned is that when you are talking with somebody and they say, well, you know, all that's real good, but let me tell you how I do things. When they say, I love you, but you need to change such and such. That but negates everything that they said before. So this song, Perfect Love, is about that. Well, I met a little girl, love of my life. Even thought about making her my wife, cause we got along really well there for about the first 2 weeks. We went out to dinner, my hair was combed, I was dressed to kill, I was laying it on, I was smelling good and deep in love. Things were lovely as we held hands. She said she wanted me to be her man. There was just one little thing she wanted me to change. Said the color of my hair was kind of strange. If I could go ahead and get that changed, why, she promised that everything would be perfect. I should have known it. I should have seen it coming. That kind of crap gets started, I should have started running. I should have known it. There ain't no end. She said, honey, you don't have to break, just then. Well, it was strange to me, but I got my hair darker. She smiled and said it ought to be shorter. But it was better, and it made her real happy there for about 10 minutes. We were hanging out, deep in love, when she whispered there was one more thing she was thinking of. That our love would be great if I just changed my boots to some shoes she liked. They were purple and chrome with glitter and strings, not my style, but I tried anything I could see right then. Our love was going down the toilet. Then she said my weight wasn't quite right, maybe I could change it by tomorrow night, but these were merely suggestions to make me a better man. I could see we needed to talk. What she said she thought would really help was maybe different socks and shirts, and maybe I could get a manicure and a butt tub. I should have known it. I should have seen it coming. When that kind of stuff gets started, I should have started running. I should have known it. Ain't no end. She said, honey, you don't have to break, just bend. Well, after changing all that I could change, it went back to me being the same and said goodbye to the love of my life. I nearly broke, I'd bent all I could bend. I said, goodbye, honey, this is the end, and I gave her back them damn goofy shoes. It appeared to me she needed somebody else who started out being what she wants herself. That damn sure ain't got nothing to do with me. I should have known it. I should have seen it coming. When that kind of stuff gets started, I should have started running. I should have known it. There ain't no end. She said, honey, you don't have to break, just be. She said, honey, you don't have to break, just be. Isn't that pretty?
This is stunning.
Every time land would come for sale around me, I would buy it. If I had the money, I would buy it. Susie said, we don't need this land. We don't need this much land. She couldn't see what I was born in the country. I lived in the country. If it comes up for sale and you have any idea that you would like to buy it, now's the time, because a lot of times only one time will it come for sale during your lifetime. I built this pond down here to water the cows, and I plowed up basically what is the area that the pond is now. I planted 4 rows of corn and 6 rows of peanuts. That night, it came a rain from hell. It rained 6 inches that night, which is a phenomenal amount here. We get about 47 inches of rain a year on a normal year. 6 inches in 24 hours is a huge amount of rain. It was scary. The water was up all down in here. I came and looked that morning, and it was scary down here. As it went down, while I was plowing up and planting that corn and peanuts, I noticed there were 2 places that the tractor bogged down in. Muddy spots. And I said, well, you know, hell, maybe there was a little creek down. I said, maybe the creek's running over here. Made up some idiot's thing. Well, when I came down here and the water had gone down, there were 2 ditches that were 3 feet wide and 3 feet deep, running about 50 feet long. And I knew exactly that there were springs there. So when I closed up and made the pond here, the springs feed that. That's fresh water. When you put a pond in, if you put a pond in like this, and it only takes runoff water, what you're going to have is you're going to have a lot of scum on the top of it, and you're going to have a dead pond. Fish can't live in that. They got to have oxygen. And so when those springs are pumping up fresh water, there's oxygen in that water. So there's fish in there. The kids fish there. There's a bunch of little bitty ones, and I've got some pictures of Scott standing there with a fish about this long. He's going, look. But anyway, they've had a lot of fun with
Do
it.
the grandkids love to come down here and
Yeah,
fish?
you can see they got my old canoe over there, and they've got a couple of chairs laying up over there.
So these are the famous fig trees.
You'll never see. Look how tall they are. They are huge. Usually you have fig bushes. The 3 fig trees came, one from each child, when probably 35 years ago. Fig trees are generally hard to get to grow unless you got the right place. I planted 2 over in the sunshine, 1 in the sunshine here. The dog lot was close to this. They all got fertilized regularly, and they all have come on crazy. We make fig preserves because that's the way I like figs. Most people don't know what a fig tree looks like, or fig preserves taste like, or whatever, but it's just one of the older ways of doing things.
So I was wondering, did you always have a garden even when you were working on your welding business? Like, was this something that you grew up doing?
I did. When I was a kid, my daddy was really a man of the earth. He understood more about the earth, trees and grass, and why things grow, and how to stop erosion, and you name it. He had lived with his feet on the ground. We had a garden when I was a kid. I hoed that damn garden. I was a little kid, and I hated it. I hated it. When I got out of high school, I went to college, and I got away from it. When I went in the Navy, I swore I'd handle my last hoe. When I got out of the Navy, came back, went to school, went out rambling around for a while. I got in Alaska, and I also got into Wyoming for a longer term. And you can't have a garden out there because there's no water. I could not wait. When we moved back to North Carolina, I could not wait to put a garden in. And every year we got produce out of it. We canned stuff. But every year the weeds just ate it up, because keeping a garden clean depends on hoeing it. And it depends on having a lot of time. And when I was working, I was gone a lot. My kids were little. I wasn't here to guide that. So as they went away, Susie and I started gardening some more. And I had promised myself last year would be the last year, because when you get old, you age out of everything. I had another garden this year, but this year it lasted a little bit longer because it's been warm right on up into the fall. Usually by the end of August, here where I live, you have some hot days. Dog days is what they're called. And there's 2 or 3 weeks, middle of August, that it just gets downright disgustingly hot. Most of the garden's gone by that time. There's some stuff you can put in the fall, like those greens you saw. I like turnip greens. I don't like any of the creasy greens, collards, spinach. I don't like any of the rest of it. It tastes bitter to me. But turnip greens are just right, just right. So we had that, and that's the only thing that was still growing. But we grow green beans, grow tomatoes, grow okra, cucumbers, squash, cantaloupe, peas, butter beans. We grow all of that. And pigs. I wasn't going to do this one, but we'll do this one if I can get the picking together. I don't generally do lead parts, but every once in a while. I hope you didn't mean what you said when you said how you felt when you said goodbye. How you needed me, but you wanted him, and it only made you cry. Your tears brought out a lot of things that you hadn't let me see, like how you're seeing some other guy and you think he's better than me. That part about wanting him, 'cause he's got things that I ain't got. Now you're convinced his love and stuff put you over the top. All that junk brought a smile to my face as you stood there by the door. I'll wave goodbye when you leave with him. I don't need you anymore. I was caught by surprise by the look in your eyes, and I knew the love was gone. You're thinking all about yourself and none about our home. I hope you remember like I remember all the good times we had. From the first to the last and all that's past, but none of it seemed that bad. For whatever reasons you need to go with him. 'Cause what we had, we ain't got no more. Ain't no dream to dream. You don't hear a thing I say, you're blinded by romance. You say you want to go it alone, well honey, here's your chance. You say with a grin you're leaving with him and our love life is gone. You think it best I forget about us and it's time I move along. I agree with you that you say we're through and I'm ready to face the facts. I'll be a long time gone on the road I'm on, sure as hell I won't. One of the ingrained parts of my psyche is giving away to others. If you got more than you need to give it away. I don't care if it's money or land, food, clothes, whatever you've got more of than you need to give to somebody that doesn't have enough. That's not any great moral part of me. That is the way that I am. I have no use for more than I need. This house was an example of that. The old man that lived just up the road knew me when I was a little bitty boy. He knew my daddy, who was a preacher, and he went to our church. And when we moved back here from Wyoming, I bought 22 acres of land down the road about 3 miles. And I was going to build a house. I'd never built a house, but I saw people who were building houses, and if they could do it, I can do it. So I started cutting down pine trees and taking them through the sawmill and off bearing the lumber and building up a stock of lumber so I could build a house. I was extremely naive. I could have got it done. It would take a long time to get done, but I have a lot of faith in myself, and it works all the way across the board. So this old man called me one day. I had a welding truck, and that's the way I was making a living. And he called me, and he and his wife had been in the hospital, and they thought they had lost some fuel oil. They thought people had stolen it. Well, nobody stole their fuel oil. It's like money in the bank. You always think you have more than you actually have. There's a way of evaporation that works out. Anyway, I put a lock on his tank, and we were sitting on his front porch drinking sweet tea, talking. And I pointed down the road to this house, and I said, is anybody living in that house? Because we were renting a house that time. And he said, no, you want it? And I said, yeah, I'll take it. I thought he was kidding. He wasn't. He gave he gave 3 people an acre of land to build on because he and his wife didn't have any children. And he wanted somebody to help him keep up the road. He was getting old. And their tie was that they sang in a church youth choir. So we were sitting on that porch. He said, no, you want it? And I said, well, I'll take it. And I thought he was kidding. We talked a little bit more. And he said, I've got to contact my nephew. I offered it to him. And if he doesn't want it, I'll give it to you. I said, fine. So I left, and I went home, and I told Susie, we were living about 2 miles down the road. I told Susie what he had said, and I said, don't count on it, but this is what he said. And that was on a Friday. On Monday, he called, and he said, my nephew said it was too much work. And I said, well, he said, you want to live here? I said, yep. He said, it won't be free. I said, oh, here we go. He said, you'll have to pay the lawyer $15 to draw up a deed, and the surveyor $50 to run off an acre. He said, I'll give you the house and the acre of land that it sits on. I said, that's fine. So I started that afternoon moving my lumber that I'd put on my land, moving it down here. It took me 2 years to build. Scott and Bonnie were toddlers. They were little. Seth hadn't been born until I finished the house. I finished the house in 1980, and we moved up here. Seth was 4 months old. So all this part over here is an addition. What he gave me was a house that had been built in 1931. It had no insulation, single pane windows, no running water except a spigot on the back porch, no inside bathroom. What he actually gave me was the frame. But if you start with something, that's a whole lot better than starting with nothing. So for 2 years, it took me by myself to build this house. I didn't think too much about it then. I look back now and I wonder, how in the hell did you do that? It's a massive amount of work, but when you're 30 years old or 32 or whatever, it's not that much work if you have your stuff together. And I had my stuff together. I was a hard worker. I worked every weekend. Every time I wasn't on a job, I would be up here nailing something together. Okay.
Call Mrs. Johnson. Watch the kids play too.
What Jim heard from a little birdie is that you guys love stickers.
I want to tell you about our pack. There's 5 stickers in the pack. The first one is a cool holographic tomato seed packet because we know Jim loves his damn fine tomatoes. The second one commemorates Susie's fig jam, which is out of this world. The third one is a clear sticker, and it's okra and milk. You've seen it on Facebook. Now you can have your own sticker. And the next one is a really cool Avett Farm sticker with pitchforks, and it says 1980, the year they moved there. The final sticker in the pack is Jim himself. He's a handsome fellow. You don't want to miss this. There's a limited number. Make sure you get them.
Let's make sure that it dies. Spend a few more nights together. Make love till the break of day. We're not back in love by Monday.
get them back in. They return on their own. When the dark's here, they'll all be in there on the roost.